If writing is a journey, then punctuation provides the street signs that help you get safely from one place to another. Start with the period. The period tells you to stop, period. Use it often. Take a look at these passages. Very simple sentences. Mother died today. The death of dogma is the birth of reality. Our envy of others devours us most of all. Now you don't have to be perfect. You can be good. I once knew a great writer and teacher named Mark Kramer. Writing goes bad, he said, when we write long and convoluted sentences. Then he cupped his hands and extended them. Here, he said, take all you want. It was like looking at an endless supply of periods. They almost looked like caviar in his hands. So, got it? When in doubt, use the period to simplify your writing and give it power. Now move to the comma. The comma tells you to pause to do something, to separate thoughts, or to separate items and lists. Take a look at these passages. I feel thin, comma, sort of stretched, comma, like butter scraped over too much bread. Our last impression of her as she turned the corner was that smile, comma, flung backward like a handful of flowers. 3 things in life are important. The first is to be kind, comma, the second is to be kind, comma, and the third is to be kind, comma. So long as I remain alive and well, I shall continue to feel strongly about prose style, comma, to love the surface of the earth, comma, and to take pleasure in solid objects and scraps of useless information. Can we talk briefly about the Oxford comma? One of the great debates of grammar comes down to this. Should you use a comma after potatoes? The answer is yes. Always use a comma to separate all of the items in a list. Consider this line from Robert Frost's poem, Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening. With the last comma, Frost lists 3 qualities of the woods. They are lovely, dark, and deep. Without the last comma, Frost says that the woods are lovely, and then he modifies lovely with the qualities, dark and deep. Lovely is related to dark and deep. Commas give writing tempo so you can express complex thoughts without losing the reader. Commas help you to chunk your ideas. But don't get crazy. If you use too many commas, which cause lots of starting and stopping, you'll fragment ideas and lose the reader. Now turn to the colon. The colon indicates that something lies ahead. That something could be a thought or it could be a list. I like carbonation in my friends, colon, out on a limb idealism, etc., etc. Read Studs Terkel's books and you see that even the most ordinary people live rich, complex lives, colon, ministers and teachers, housewives and factory leaders, lawyers and accountants, cooks and janitors, scientists and artists. Whenever you want to put the spotlight on something, use the colon. It says, hey, look at this. Now turn to the semicolon. The semicolon is really a quasi-comma and a quasi-period. The semicolon combines 2 separate independent thoughts in the same sentence. The semicolon is like 2 roads that merge. So look at this passage from Kurt Vonnegut's Cat's Cradle. Tiger gotta hunt, bird gotta fly. That's the first part. Man gotta sit and wonder why. So you have 2 independent thoughts that are brought together that are connected but still separated by the semicolon. Or Tolstoy's Anna Karenina. Happy families are all alike. Every unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. Again, 2 independent thoughts brought together, related but still separated by a semicolon. It also acts as a supercomma. Semicolons also help you create superlists, that is to say, lists of separate chunks within it. So for example, This sentence lists three things. First of all, the northeastern states, like New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, the Rust Belt states, like Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Illinois, and liberal bastions, like California, Oregon, and Massachusetts. So you have lists inside lists. Now, notice how these lists inside lists are separated by semicolon and semicolon. The semicolon's job is to manage complexity. The semicolon merges two related but independent ideas, and it also creates lists within lists. Can we turn now to the ellipses? Ellipses perform three functions. They indicate a passage of time, they separate thoughts for effect, and they mark gaps in quotations. The first passage ends without complete resolution. Half the wall was covered with the advertisement of a circus. 100 horsemen, 20 performing seals, lions, tigers. Virginia Woolf allows you to kind of fill in the rest. He wondered whether she would notice him, or smile, or flirt, or even have a real honest-to-God conversation. In this passage, Samantha Masterson indicates a kind of drifting, a meandering, a kind of stream of consciousness. In this passage, the author is picking out only a few pieces of an overall passage from Thucydides. He uses ellipses to indicate where the text has been removed. Hey, let's talk about the exclamation mark. Talk about excitement. An exclamation mark indicates something unusual, worthy of special attention or feeling. Laura Stanfill uses exclamation marks in a standard way to indicate occasional excitement. Tom Wolfe uses exclamation marks to hype up his writing, to make fun of the character Nestor and his ego about physical appearance. I once worked with someone who used exclamation points all the time with almost every sentence. It was annoying and surprisingly exhausting. She wanted to get readers excited with every sentence, but give me a break. Save the exclamation marks for rare moments of excitement. Now let's turn to the dash and the em dash, which both connect and separate ideas. The dash, or hyphen, connects two or more things into one. The em dash, which is a little longer, separates things for emphasis. In the first passage, dashes are used to create compound adjectives. Thanksgiving to Christmas modifies the game of retail sales. In the second passage, Toni Morrison uses an em dash to modify an idea, like a parenthesis, to separate it from the flow of the sentence. Pretty easy, isn't it? Once you pay attention to how punctuation marks direct traffic, it makes simple sense. Now it's your turn. Imagine taking a long-distance vacation. Note all the simple rules you need to follow to find your way and get there safely. Now, make a list of the pitfalls that await you as you describe and how punctuation can allow you a safe journey.